All right, guys, we got a new episode of Real Housewives of Potomac, episode 13 of the season. The season is winding down, only a couple episodes to go, and then the reunion. Rumble in the Jungle. Now, before we get into the episode, welcome back to Bravo Hot Tea. If you're tuning back in, and if this is your first time here, hello, welcome. Covering all things housewives, other Bravo shows, and some good pop culture tea. Anyways, with that said, let's get into it. All right. We start off the episode with Mia. This is the Mia Moore season. Every single episode has to do with Mia. And of course, the last episode ended off on Mia trying to figure out where her kids were. And so that's how this episode starts. Panama, day 2. Mia is calling around. Where are my kids? Where are my kids? Are they in this state? Are they in that city? Where are her kids? So she's calling around and she's hyperventilating. She doesn't know where her kids are. Guys, I know we make fun of Mia here and there, like Mia be lying, Mia more, Mia with her husband and her boyfriend. Like, I don't know what's going on with Mia. But at this moment, I have to tell you, I felt really bad for her. Like, the girl is literally hyperventilating. And I have to say, she kept it pretty cool. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, we saw her hyperventilating, not knowing her kids were. But I feel like, given the situation and the circumstance, she still kind of held it together pretty good. But, anyways, she hyperventilates, she calls around. I had to write this down. So her kids, Gordon left them with their former nanny's daughter. And this person to Mia is, I guess, they're almost like family. And she was at Mia's wedding, I guess, as like the mother of the bride. It's a lot going on. Mia has a lot of people in her life, a lot of people that came in, went out, came in, went out. I don't know. There's a lot happening. So at this point, she's like, okay, I know where my kids are. Gordon drove them 4 hours to wherever, and then he went off to a different state for golf or whatever it was. She takes a shot of tequila, and then she goes about her day. Look, guys, I don't have any kids, but if I didn't know where my kids were, I'd be like, stop the cameras right now. I'm hopping on a plane. I'm getting back to the US of A. I'm going to find my damn kids. So later on, we'll get into it, but some of the women finding out about Mia's, morning situation, they were just like, wait, like, why are you still here? It's like, girl, what are you doing here? Go to your kids. We'll get more into that. Now, we did have a cute little moment between Kierna, and Stacey that same morning. In whatever last trip they took, Mia took them to like some swamp. It was like a lake house on like a swamp. Kay and Stacey were bunk bed roomies. And, Stacey's like, I'm sharing a room with Gizelle, but like I had to borrow toothpaste. And Kay's like, oh, how's it going over there? Stacey's like, no, I miss you. Let's bunk together. Let's share a room together. And Kay's like, nah, girl, like I got a whole room to myself. This is Kay's space, and we're going to keep it that way. So, I enjoy those cute little moments. Like, I don't always want it to be like hardcore, insane, anxiety inducing scenes. All right, so it's day 2 of Panama. The ladies, they got ready in the morning. They have all made their way into the Sprinter van. And here we are, fresh faced, all the ladies in their cute little colorful, bright outfits. Now, the girls are like, look, last night we talked about a lot of stuff, but what's going on with you, Kierna? What's going on with you and Greg? And, she kind of gives them like the Spark Notes version, so Greg, I guess, had just gotten a divorce, separated, and she had just sold her salon. So they were both in transitional periods in their life, professionally, their personal life, whatever it may be. Both her and Greg, transitional times in their life. Cool. That's their first year. And I guess now this is their second year together and she's moved in with him, but they have a house that they're building that's supposed to be done in like 4 months as of them filming this. Look, the thing with Greg, I don't understand why she is putting up his business on a pedestal. Like, I want to see more about her. She doesn't have a salon. It's like one of those like skincare aesthetics places. I don't know why I'm like not remembering the word, but she has her own business and I want to see that. I want to see, people going in, feeling cute, walking out beautiful. It's like a spa basically. Anyways, Craig is not a fan of Kay being on the show, and Andy even called him out when Kay was on Watch What Happens Live, and Greg was in the audience. But it's like, you know what? You don't need to be here. We don't need to see you. Why are we seeing so much of Greg, this man who doesn't even really support her being on the show, but maybe he supports her being on the show now? So, whatever. I like Kierna, but I'm not like that invested in her and Craig. It's kind of like they're a cute couple. Seems like no nonsense. Let's just keep it that way. Now, we got more cute moments in the Sprinter van. Here's the thing. Every time I see a Sprinter van, it doesn't matter if it's Potomac, if it's Salt Lake City, any of these Real Housewives show, I am like, oh my God, what is going to happen? Is someone going to pop off? Not another Sprinter van moment, because y'all know how the ladies get in Sprinter vans. Anyways, we're still keeping it cute. It's still light. Gizelle is like, hey, Karen, I was talking to Ray at the Love Lagoon. What was it? The Love Lagoon lunch that you had. You gave Ray a list. Now, girl, what is on this list? So Karen's like, yeah, she gave him a list. He needs to hold the door. He needs to go downtown, if you know what I'm saying. And now Ashley and all the other girls, they are invested. They're like, Karen, tell us more. Gizelle is telling Karen, you got to be all sloppy, this and that. And Karen's just looking at Gizelle like, girl, we are too grown to be doing that stuff. And Karen, she's like, Gizelle, you're only like, what, a couple years younger than me. Like, what are you doing? You are doing the most. Anyways, Karen calls out Gizelle in her confessionals, and I thought that was like really funny. And I'm here for Gizelle and Karen, and later in the episode, who was it? Wendy calls them out for basically being like married couple. So, I'm enjoying this Sprinter van ride so far. All right. So while we have, some fun kiki moments, we got Jacqueline spilling Mia's morning situation to Ashley. And I don't know, Mia being Mia, I don't know if she really wants or cares for Jacqueline spilling the beans about what Mia went through in the morning, I would feel like Mia should be the one saying it to the women, but whatever, Jacqueline spilling the beans to Ashley, like, yep, Mia was looking for her kids in the morning, she like lost it, whatever. And Ashley, I think she had the reaction most people would have. Like, she would lose her mind and she would like go back to the, States and like figure out where her kids were. Like how Mia's even filming with the girls here. It's strange. Like, none of us get it, but not all of us operate the same. So we get like a little tidbit of, Mia's morning situation being spilled to one of the other girls because it was just Mia and Jacqueline in the morning. The other girls weren't present for what Mia was going through. All right, so the ladies are finally off the Sprinter van. Time to do some shopping, spend some coin, and what are the ladies spending on? This scene was so cute where Giselle's like, we should get Wendy and her daughter some cute hats, some matching hats for the last event. Whatever last event Wendy hosted, Wendy and her daughter were present, and Giselle's like, okay, let's get them matching hats. So they find these cute little pink hats, and I thought for Giselle, that was a lot of growth because the way she was coming for Wendy and the way she was like so not about Wendy, it was kind of gross. It was like, really, Gizelle, like you're a very pretty woman, but so cold and nasty on the inside. Now, partially, I think, the showrunners, the editors, they're giving her a good edit, but I also wonder, did someone, like, give her a little tap tap, like, "Hey, we're not doing this, icing out Wendy crap again." And also, not having her sidekick Robin, um, she no longer has Robin to Grey Rock Wendy. You know, they can't do the exclusionary stuff. No, 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 no. None of that's going to happen. So I think Gizelle not having Robin, we are seeing Gizelle being Gizelle, you know, and she has to make it nice with all the girls, whether she wants to or not. So this is growth, whether it's real or not, we'll take it. All right, so later in the episode, you know, the ladies are shopping, they break apart. I guess they're like on the same street and there's like a bunch of boutiques you can go to and the ladies are just, you know, free flowing. You know, this one's going in at that store, this one's going into, you know, this other store. And it just so happens Ashley, Kay, Mia, and Stacey are at the same store. And Ashley approaches Mia like, "Hey, like what happened to you this morning?" And Mia comes forth to the ladies like, this is what's going on with Gordon's behavior. And she shares with the ladies. And I have to say, this was a pivotal scene in this episode. And we're starting to see like some of the women getting annoyed with Mia, and then some of the women being kind of like, whatever, like, that's just Mia being Mia. And some of the women who are, I don't know if in support is the right word, but they kind of feel for her. So they almost kind of want to give her a bit of a pass. Now, Mia does tell the ladies, like, yeah, her kids are good. They're having a good time. And it was nice to see that she could back up the fact that her kids are good. I'm gonna assume that's a clip or, you know, footage, not footage, images Mia shared with the editors of her kids enjoying their time while she was enjoying day 2 in Panama. I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt, like this is from that exact time, because she's telling the girls like they're good, they're in safe hands, they're having a fun time. That's amazing, but then Ashley starts to grill her, and let's look at that.
I just don't have the capacity right now.
I don't know how to show up for you then. I really don't.
Then don't.
Well, then say less. I didn't even.
I mean, after this scene, I thought it was really interesting that the editors really helped out what Ashley was saying. Like, Ashley doesn't know how to be there for Mia because there's so many like discrepancies. Like, we don't, whether it's the ladies or us, the audience, we don't know what to believe. There's nothing tangible. It's like, well, what's real? What's fake? The story keeps changing. Like how she met Gordon, the timeline between her and Ink. Did her and Jacqueline have some fun times together? Like, I don't know. There's just like too much going on. So I'm glad Ashley stepped up and she was like, "Well, I don't know how to be there for you because we basically don't know what's real and like what's fake." Now, Ashley did bring up the dinner from the previous night, and you know, she brought up the whole comment Mia made about Giselle's daughters, how you know, they seem perfect online, but they're having, you know, guys over at the house. Mia girl, the ladies probably looked at Mia like you did much worse than some guy, you know, some teenagers being on the Ring camera. Like, so I don't think Mia should be the one talking, especially not about like other people's kids. And like it was such a random comment to Gizelle too. Like that was the part when Mia made that comment, I was like, where did that comment even come from? Like it was so left field. Anyways, that's where we got that scene where Ashley's just like, you went too far. And did Mia even apologize? I don't know. We're gonna get to that later because Gizelle and Mia, they have a little spat about it at the dinner the night of day 2 at Panama. But anyways, I'm glad people are like calling Mia out, it's like, okay, it's not cute anymore. Like, what's real? What's fake? We don't know. Now, once Ashley walks out, Stacey, on the other hand, seems quite empathetic to Mia's life situation she's in, whether it be because of other people or she got herself into this mess, doesn't really matter. Stacey's like, kind of like a shoulder not to cry on, but like, "Here, I'm here for you," sort of a thing, like, you could kinda, like, talk it out. That was kinda like the body language, the empathy that Stacey was showing to Mia, and Mia just kinda, like, explains to Stacey, like, "Yeah, for Gordon, it's all about control," and look, maybe Gordon does have some sort of personality issue, who knows? I don't know, is she just trying to make Gordon look like a bad dad, a bad husband? I have no idea, but Mia hasn't really said anything about what she did in the demise of their marriage. Now, before the ladies get to lunch after a hard day of shopping or a hard morning of shopping, there's a little scene at the hat store between Jacqueline, Gizelle, and Karen. Who made Jacqueline Mia's like pet parrot where she's like, I don't know, talking on her behalf or whatever, or making excuses? Because that's basically what Jacqueline was doing when she was talking to Giselle and Karen at the hat store. It's like, oh, Mia's going through a lot, like da da da. And Giselle's like, yeah, I don't care if she's going through a lot. She's miserable. Giselle is basically calling out Mia for being miserable. And again, at the dinner later that same day, all of this comes up, which I kind of love. It's like we get little tidbits of like frustrations between the women or like different dynamics, and then we see it all unfold at dinner that night. So that was good. And I think Giselle and Karen and the rest of us are looking at Jacqueline like what is wrong with you? Like, why are you making excuses? Like, when you go to an art gallery and you're like this close and you see the picture a little bit pixelated, if that's how the painting was done, and you don't really get the full picture, you're just like so in on it. I feel like that's how Jacqueline is. Like, she's a pick me, she's very much like Mia, 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 she's seeing it very one dimensional. Girl, you need to take a step back and see the picture for what it is. All right, guys, the ladies, they're, finally at lunch. They're, sitting down, getting their drinks. They haven't even sat down for 5 minutes, and already it's going down. Who was it? I think it was Wendy who was like, oh, Karen, are you going to have a drink? Out of nowhere, Jacqueline steps in and she's like, well, we're not driving. Jacqueline, are you trying to make amends with Karen or are you not? Like, what is happening? And Karen is just pissed. She just looks at her like, girl, like, leave me alone. Don't even talk to me. But things do get a little better from that initial, the ladies sitting down and Jacqueline making that useless comment. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I thoroughly was enjoying this episode. There was like a little bit of drama, there was a little bit of like fun shade, a little bit of like fun times. And look, not every person watching these housewife show is going to like all of the same housewife shows as you do and I do, but creators saying, oh, Potomac, it's not doing it for me, it's not it. Oh my god, hold on, I gotta get this out. Okay, I got that out. Anyone who's saying Potomac is not doing it for me, what do you want from Potomac? The girls are having fun. Okay, but maybe they're not like, richy rich like the Beverly Hills girls, but this is the cast we have. They're kikiing, they're fun, they're talking about their lives, some more than others. Is it like height of, Housewives TV? No, maybe not, but it's been a good season. I'm liking it. Anyways, so here we are, the ladies, they're drinking, they're having a good time, and they play a little game. They imitate one another. We see a cute scene where Kay imitates Stacey. Who else was it? Giselle imitating Karen, and I forget who imitated Wendy, but it was good. And then the editors did, flashbacks of like the mannerisms the girls do that they're known for. So I really enjoyed that. So while the ladies are, drinking, having a good time, just just enjoying themselves as they should, Messy Ashley, she's getting into it. She's asking the tough questions that we're all wondering. Are we all wondering it? I don't know. She's like, so, like, what happened between, she's asking Jacqueline, she's like, what happened between like you and Mia back in the day? Did you guys like share someone? Who was the guy that Mia talked about that you two shared back in the day? Was it the same guy? Was it Ink? What's going on here? According to Mia, it was not Ink, but it was Ink's friend who Jacqueline and Mia shared. Okay. And I don't know, maybe sharing is caring. I don't know about y'all, but like, I don't know what kind of friends y'all have, but no, sharing a man, no, that is gross. That, no, beyond gross. I mean, I've heard of people sharing lipsticks, maybe like a hairbrush, but like a whole man. But in the case of Gizelle calling out Ink, Gizelle called him, what did she call him? A adult lunchable, community adult lunchable. So I thought that was pretty funny in Giselle's confessional. Now, as if this whole ordeal wasn't embarrassing enough, Jacqueline then provides more information than she should. She's going off on a tangent like, oh, we were young, we were finding ourselves. And, what's a better way to find yourself than having some fun with your friend, with your, I don't know, your close girlfriend when you're young? And Mia's just looking at her, having a sip, another sip. And then in her, Mia's confessional, she's like, I wish Jacqueline would shut up. Like, girl, you are just going on and on. We don't need to share this. Some things should stay in a vault. You lock it, you take the key, you throw it, and you forget it. But here we have Jacqueline spilling all the beans. And the girls are just like, this is weird. This is a very odd friendship. The whole thing is weird. All right, so lunch is over. They're back in the Sprinter van, and both girls, Stacey and Mia, call their boo, who they're not married to. Mia calls up Ing. She's doing a little FaceTime, and Mia is going on how she's going to take a detour from Panama, or she's going to go straight to Atlanta. So from Panama to Atlanta, and then she'll go back home. And the girls are thinking like, they're looking at Mia over there in the back of the Sprinter van, like, girl, go home to your kids. Your kids need you. Why are you going to Atlanta for a booty call with Ink? Like, already the girls are looking at Mia like, you don't even know where your kids are. Like, why are you here on this trip? Like, what's happening? And now you're talking to, not your husband, but your other man, and you're talking about a booty call. Priorities here. And then in the confessional, Mia's like, so here's the thing. I am going to see my kid. I'm going to see my oldest kid who happens to be in Atlanta. But then I'm thinking, well, what about your two little kids that we see on the show? Like, don't you want to see them and make sure they're okay? Because apparently you didn't know where they were since Gordon dropped them off 4 hours, somewhere else. The whole thing is absurd. And there's just, with Mia, I feel like there's too many pieces. You're like, the pieces are always moving. And you're like, well, wait, what? So whatever. That was Mia's call. Let's move on to Stacey and her FaceTime call with TJ. TJ's on the phone, and then I guess what was he doing? Was he golfing? What was he doing? But I guess the man was shirtless, or he was showing a lot of, chest. And Stacey, she looked a little like hot and bothered. She's like, oh my God, I'm seeing TJ's chest. I don't really see him shirtless. And I'm thinking, you've been with this man for a year. You don't even see him like shirtless. Like, here's what I don't understand. She first tells us she wants more with this man, TJ. Okay, fine. You want more with him. But then they don't really, they're saying that they're like church BFGF. Okay, but you guys are like in your 40s. maybe even early 50s. I don't know. Is TJ a hired boyfriend? Do you know what I mean? Like, okay, maybe she didn't pay him, but it's kind of like you come on the show, you get more notoriety, TJ get your name out there even more. I don't know why he has to. He seems to be like a consistently working actor. So I don't know why he would need the gig of being Stacey's on the show BF or her plus one. I don't really get it. And I don't know. The whole thing is weird. Are they together? Are they not? Is this a scheme? Like, let's go on the show and be together. It's all very confusing. Is this a Christian relationship? Are we the ones that, they're Stacey and TJ are playing a joke on? Anyways, that's the two very different FaceTime calls these two women are having. All right, so this was so weird to me. The ladies had to change at the last place they were at with like the circle tables, and that seemed kind of like a small restaurant, and they were all changing in like I don't know, like the ladies' washroom with like a two-stall washroom, like a small washroom, and there's what, like the eight of them. Potomac does give low budget. It does give low budget. Do you think the showrunners for Beverly Hills or New York or even Salt Lake would tell the girls, hey, you're changing in the bathroom so that we could go to the next place? I don't know. It was kind of weird to me, but whatever. The ladies pull it together. They change into their cute outfits for dinner. They're seated, they're sat. Wendy, she, starts off the night with some shots for the ladies. They're all in. Um, they look good. They look good. The night's starting out well, but is it going to start out well? No, it can never start out that well. And they're going to get right into it. All right, so earlier in the episode, I gave Gizelle a couple points, for her moving forward with Wendy. I might have to take a couple of those points back because Gizelle, what she said to Kay in response regarding the court case against Deborah, that was very icky. So the girls ask Kay, like, what's going on? Like, what's going on? With the what do you call it? The mark on her forehead that she got because of Deborah last season at the GNA event. That had real life impact, lasting impact for Kay. And I'm not just talking about like physically the mark on her forehead. Mentally, it definitely caused her some anguish. And Kay is pressing charges on Deborah. And it's going to be civil and criminal. And then Gizelle has the audacity to say that's still a thing. That's still a thing. Yes, Gizelle, for Kay, it is still very much a thing. And Gizelle wasn't like, so how are you doing, Kay? The person who's in front of her at dinner. She's like, well, that's still a thing. And how's Deborah going to pay? And she showed concern for Deborah. Who the F cares about Deborah? And good for Kay. She's like, that's not my problem. How she pays for the lawsuits, that's her problem. She could go to her husband, she could go to whoever. That's her problem to figure out. Maybe don't show up in a, horsetail ponytail at a GNA fashion show where you are clearly wearing an outfit where you are ready to fight someone. And that's exactly what Deborah did last season. So I'm happy that Kay is just telling her tale just straight to the point to Gizelle and the women, and she's going to take care of Deborah. So this is a kind of a glimpse into Karen and Gizelle being friendlier and really caring for each other than what they show. They have that whole like frenemy thing going on, but at the end of the day, they really do care for each other. And I don't think they're just castmates that like work together. I think this is like real. Like they've been on the show together for 9 seasons now. And why is Gizelle ordering for Wendy? Not Wendy. Why is Gizelle ordering for Karen? Karen is a very capable woman. She wants something, she seems to go for it. But here is Gizelle being Karen's mouthpiece and saying, Karen wants to get the ribs, Karen wants to get this. And Wendy's just looking at her like, what is going on here? And Wendy calls them out. They secretly love each other. They are like an old married couple. Sure seems like it in this dynamic. All right, we are back on the Mia be lying, that the whole Mia train of whatever. And she shares with the ladies, this is what I was going through in the morning. I didn't know where my kids were, but then I found them. She shares the story with the ladies. And Wendy, even though Wendy and Mia had a physical altercation, Wendy and Mia have seemed to, I don't know if they formed a friendship, but they have seemed to move on. And they're definitely more than cordial with each other. So that's a step in the right direction. But as Mia is sharing her story with the ladies, Wendy shows real concern about Mia and her kids. Like, look, I don't know what's going on between you, Gordon, you, Ink, The kids are at the center of it, and she's showing genuine concern for Mia's kids. And I think all the women at the table are like clutching their pearls, like, what are we hearing? What do you mean you don't know where your kids are? And us at home, we're watching this like train wreck. It's a lot. And then we see Karen talking about her little boy from a previous marriage with her ex-husband, where he drove off somewhere with their kid, and right when Karen found out about it, she drove 3 hours. As she said, I drove 3 hours immediately to get my son. That is like a part of you. That your kids are like an extension of you, and to not know where your kid is, it's insane. So I'm glad Karen shared her story, and while they were showing Karen's confessional, they showed cute little pictures of Karen and her little boy from like back in the day. Like all the women are like horrified hearing this. And you have to keep in mind of the timeline. Mia dealt with the situation in the morning, but some of the women are finding out about it now, or they're finding out about it from Mia now. So they're looking at her. Again, I've said this earlier in this recap, they're looking at her like, what are you doing here? So while we're on the Mia train, we, discuss the whole kid situation, and Gizelle brings up the comment Mia said about Gizelle's daughters. Now, this is the part where Gizelle kind of lost me, because Gizelle is like how Mia apologized to Gizelle off camera, and Gizelle had a problem with Mia apologizing off camera, and she thinks it should have been on camera, like with the group, I guess. And it wasn't genuine. This is the part where I'm like, well, wouldn't off camera be more genuine, like woman to woman, like, hey, look, like I shouldn't have said that, like apologies. But I guess Gizelle wanted to be more of a spectacle and show that Mia apologized on camera. I don't know. I wasn't really following Gizelle's train of thought, but at this dinner, Mia then apologized in front of the group, like, okay, I apologize to you off camera. Since you want me to apologize to you in front of the group, in front of the camera, I will apologize to you again. Good for Mia. She apologized, and hopefully her and Gizelle can move on. But you know who can't move on? Jacqueline. Jacqueline is here, Mia's right-hand soldier, ready to fight anyone that's coming for Mia. Jacqueline defends Mia, and this is where Gizelle's like, stop, stop, stop. Because Gizelle's like not having it. She's like, Jacqueline, what are you going on about? Why are you defending Mia? And in the end, Mia calls the ladies miserable. And who was it? I think Ashley said pot calling the kettle black. I can't remember if she said it at the table or in her confessional. It's a lot of self-projection. I think that's what we're getting from Mia. And then Stacey was funny. She's like, who's she calling miserable? I'm not miserable. And she has that very like news anchor voice, which I think is like so fun when she like gets pissed off. I'm like, is Stacey pissed off? Because it's very like, I don't know. She has a funny voice. Guys, we're finally at the end of this dinner and the episode, but we don't end off on, I guess, such an intense note. It's a little bit more lighthearted because Wendy pulls out how only Karen should be wearing a 613 wig. And then the ladies are looking at her like, what's the 613? I'm sure many of you, like Stacey, were like, is that like an area code? So I'm enjoying this like lightness. And, Wendy's just like, that's 613, like the color of the blonde, and only Karen should be wearing a 613. So that was kind of funny. Now, Stacey's reads are just like comical, but it's just like so slight and it's like in the best way. She was like, Karen, she should be wearing a 613 wig, like that blonde wig that Karen doesn't seem to be retiring. Mia, not so much. And then Ashley, she just says nothing. It's so subtle, but it was like so good in her confessional. I think Mia at this point, she kind of had it. Like, y'all can feel however you feel about me. But, Karen and some of the other girls, they're like, I do see a way back. Like, I think the girls are trying to support Mia, but sometimes they don't know how to support her because what Ashley said, what was it? Not the hat store, but at the store earlier during their shopping time. Um, Ashley's like, I don't know how to support you. So I think that's where a lot of the women are. It's like, yeah, we want to support you. We want to liberate you because that's what this dinner and this trip is about, but we don't know how to. And here, Mia saying, y'all can feel how you want about me. Okay, cool. And the women are like, we can get to a better place, but there needs to be some work done. And that's essentially how we end this episode. And this was a very good episode, guys. I don't know what y'all think about, Potomac, the season as a whole. Let me know your thoughts about the episode. Did you like it? What were your favorite scenes? Did it make you laugh? Did it make you, I don't know, look at some of the girls, like what's going on here? Let me know. I'm going to continue doing the recaps, not just for Potomac, but some of the other shows as well. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you all later.